What's up, guys? I just saw Strangers Pray at Night, which actually comes out this Friday, March 9th. If you want to go see it, Strangers 2 was directed by Johannes Roberts, and it stars Bailey Madison, Christina Hendricks, Martin Henderson, and Louis Pullman. Basically, Mike and his wife Cindy take their kids on a road trip to their Uncle Marvin's trailer park, and it turns out that there's three masked psychopaths that show up into this seemingly deserted place and make their weekend getaway a nightmare. Now, I kind of had low expectations going into this film because I remember watching the first one and enjoying it for the most part up until about the end. And when I finished it, I thought, okay, well, that was a dumb ending, but at least we're not going to get another one of those. Turns out I was wrong. Now, one of my biggest issues with this film was the writing, both the storytelling and the dialogue. Now, there are some truly atrocious lines in this film, which is unfortunate because that basically just amounts to these flat, boring, cliched characters that we really don't care about. And they're just these, characters that we see all the time. Like, you have the angsty teen who messed up and now they're sending her to boarding school, so she's going to be an angsty teen and listen to music all the time. And you have the one son who's clearly the favorite because he plays sports and goes to school and knows what he's doing. You got the clueless dad and basically the clueless mom as well. And you don't care about these characters at all because you've seen them a million times, and the dialogue that they give is just so boring, and it's just, there's a lot of lazy writing. And not only do you not feel for these characters because of the interactions we get with each other as a family, but also some of the decisions they make are just beyond idiotic. Now, I know that this movie is basically giving us this really stressful situation, and yeah, you're going to be under a lot of pressure and there's going to be a lot of adrenaline and whatever running through your body. But for example, there's one scene when one of these killers is trying to break into this bathroom that has the mom and the daughter, and she's hitting on the door, and the mom just yells, "Leave us alone." Like, yeah, I get it. You're stressed, but do you really think that's gonna work? I don't know. Little things like that, little decisions that they make are just very confusing when it comes to trying to put us into this realistic event, because it says it's based on a true story, which I don't think is true either. I mean, the first one could have been based off of actual events, but obviously very loosely based, and I think this one is too. I feel like this one is just loosely based off of the events of the first one, but they changed locations and changed characters and thought, there we go, new movie. Speaking of characters, I felt like the acting in this movie was very back and forth for me. There were some scenes where I thought that they did really well, and or scenes where I thought they did the best that they could with the dialogue they were given. And there were other scenes where it was almost laughable. But for the most part, I feel like Christina Hendricks did a decent job with what she was given, as well as Bailey Madison. I think they both did pretty well. I guess my biggest issue in this film is the men in the movie. I don't think that they really portrayed their characters very well. But again, I don't want to put all the blame on them because I think they really did try their hardest. But with what they were given, it's just almost impossible to play these characters properly or in a way that will invoke emotion and feeling from us, because some of like I said, some of the decisions they make are just downright dumb. Now, I thought the camera work for the most part was okay. There were a lot of scenes that were pretty dark, and there were some scenes where it needed that, like in the beginning when you get the strangers coming up to the door. Obviously the lighting's going to be dark and you can't see their face, and I really like those shots. Those shots provide suspense and you're like, ooh, who is this person? Stuff like that. I feel like those shots work really well. But there were other shots where it was just kind of hard to see what was going on, and it was a little hard to follow. But besides that, I think the camera work was fine. There's nothing new or revolutionary with this film. There were a lot of really weird, cheesy zooms that honestly was part of what made this movie really funny. It's almost seemed campy. But the thing is, they weren't going for a campy horror film, they were going for a horror film. If they were going for a campy horror film, I feel like this movie would have done so much better if they advertised it that way instead, because just the way that some of the scenes take place, I feel like they could be in a campy horror film. And the way that we see these slow zooms on these characters so many, like, an astronomical amount of times, you'd feel like they're trying to make you laugh. But I don't think that's what they were going for. Now, I don't think this movie was great. I definitely think it could have been better. I think it's a movie that if you want, you can watch with your friends, but I definitely wouldn't go see it in theaters. I would wait for it to come out so you can like rent it or get it off of Amazon or something for like $4 instead of paying $10 a piece to go see it in theaters. I'm going to give Strangers Pray at Night a C+. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Subscribe so you don't miss my next review, which I will be uploading tomorrow. I'm going to see another movie that comes out this weekend, so stay tuned to find out what it is. Let me know what you guys thought of this video and the movie if you're going to go see it down in the comments below. Thanks again. See you guys in the next one.